Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be back on here filming for you guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far. So before we get started, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to hit that button, hit like on this video if you enjoy it. And I just want to thank everyone so much for all the support. So today's video is going to be about how I actually got diagnosed. I thought that was a pretty important topic to talk about. So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in September. Now, lymphoma is a blood cancer. It's also known as a silent cancer, so it hasn't got a lot of ways that you know that you have it, I suppose, which is quite scary when you think about it. I'm not sure how long I was living with it for, which is another scary thought. But the fact that we got there and they caught it before it got too bad is a great result. So I wanted to go through a few signs and symptoms, I suppose. I'll insert a photo here of what to look for, and I'll also go through what I had as well, the symptoms that, looking back, I never would have linked it with a cancer, but now that I can see that it's a sign and a symptom, I know that it was my body trying to tell me that something was wrong. So I was diagnosed in 2019 in September. About 2 years prior to that, I broke out in this itchy rash. So itchy skin is my first sign and symptom. So basically, I had an awful rash all over my limb. It sort of came up in these red welts. I'll see if I can find a photo to insert for you guys so you can see what it was like. It was pretty awful. My body felt like it was on fire. It was so itchy. So I went to the doctor. They put me on steroid creams. They gave me antibiotics. They did all these tests. They had me get rid of soap related products and all that sort of stuff. Body was literally on fire. It was the most awful feeling I have ever felt, to be honest. They finally put me on steroid tablets, and that seemed to get rid of the rash, although my body still felt itchy. But yeah, no one could really tell me what the cause was. They thought it was one thing and it wasn't, and they thought it was something else and it wasn't. So I sort of managed it with the steroids because it took it away. I finally got referred to a dermatologist, which was awesome. So I went there. She gave me more creams. I was using lots of moisturizer, soap-free washes, cut out certain things out of my diet, and with all that I was managing it. Although my rash was gone, I still found that, especially at night actually, I found that my legs were just itchy and no one could tell me why. And it wasn't even a rash, they were just the actual skin. It was so itchy. So that was my first sign and symptom. I think it was definitely my body trying to tell me, look, something is wrong here. Like, help sister out, Marissa. Like, you need to go sort this out because something is wrong. So now that I know that's a sign and a symptom, it's pretty clear, and it's kind of scary that that was going on for 2 years, and that possibly could have been how long I was living with this Hodgkin's lymphoma for. But anyway, my next sign and symptom is tiredness and fatigue. So I noticed at the start of 2019 that I was feeling just tired all the time. I would have to work at 9 o'clock, and by 10 I'd just be like, man, I gotta sit down. Like, I feel so tired and I don't know why. I did pick up a few extra shifts at work, so I just thought maybe I was working too much. I hadn't been on a holiday, like a proper good relaxing holiday, in I think it was a couple of years. So I'm like, okay, I'm working too much, I need a holiday, that's why I'm tired all the time. It wasn't just another way of my body telling me, look, you're tired for no reason. Like, it's not that you need a holiday, you're just so tired, you need to go get checked out. But yeah, I had regular checkups just with my GP. My blood tests were coming back fine and everything was fine, so I just put it down to I was tired and I needed a holiday, unfortunately. The next one is night sweats. So I didn't get this a lot. I know that there were some mornings I would wake up and my pajama top would be not saturated, but it would be quite damp and like I'd been sweating. But I do have a tendency to have nightmares sometimes. So I thought that when I woke up, maybe I had a nightmare during the night and that was causing me to sweat or something. My body does just naturally get quite hot as well. But maybe I just covered myself up too much or something, or made myself too hot, had a nightmare, caused me to be sweaty, and I would never have linked waking up with my t-shirt a little bit damp to cancer, ever. I don't think anyone would really. Like, if you didn't know that was a sign and a symptom, and most people don't, I definitely didn't know that. I didn't really think too much of it. It wasn't happening every single night. If it was, then I probably would have gotten worried. I'm just waking up a little bit sweaty. I'd pull the doona off in the morning, cool myself down a bit, and I felt fine. So, I mean, yeah, would never have linked it. But now that I know it's a sign and a symptom, it's like, well, it's crazy. Again, a way that your body tries to tell you that something is wrong. Now, the final straw for me was the lump on the side of my neck. You can see, I'll just zoom you guys in. You can see my scar where it was taken out just here. So that was a swollen lymph node. One morning in August of 2019, I hopped out of the shower and I could literally see a lump in the side of my neck. It was probably like a golf ball size, I reckon. And I could literally see it. Like, I stood in the mirror and I could see like there was just a lump like that. And I was like, oh, okay, something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong. It's not, my neck is not meant to look like that. And I could like move it around. Like, it was weird. It was literally felt like there was a golf ball in my skin. Like, you could move it around. It wasn't sore to touch or anything. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just like this little fatty cyst that's popped up or something. You know how people get those? I don't know. I'm like pushing it, thinking it doesn't hurt. I think that's a good sign. But I definitely want to go to the doctor. So I called them up straight away, organised an appointment for later that afternoon. So he didn't seem too concerned, but he was like, look, I'll send you off for an ultrasound just in case, just so we can see what's going on in there. And I was like, yeah, sweet. So I was all calm about it. The guy did the thing and he was like, so you're going to go see your doctor like straight away, yeah? And I was like, oh, yeah, I was just going to book in for a week's time because that's when my next day off is. So yeah, that's cool, isn't it? And he was like, no, sis. He didn't say sis, but yeah, he was like, no, you need to book in like ASAP. Like, I'm talking this afternoon or tomorrow morning at the latest. And in my head, I was like, oh, Lord, that doesn't sound good. And I was like, okay, I'll book in like for tomorrow morning then, like straight away. And he was like, yep, good idea. Good luck. And I was like, oh no, something's wrong. So I walked out, freaked out a little bit because, you know, when you hear that, you're like, okay, what can this be? That night, I actually remember going to my mum's room and I explained the whole thing to her and she was like, but he didn't really say anything. I was like, no, he didn't say anything. He just wanted me to see the doctor like straight away. She was like, okay, well, you know, just don't stress out too much. And I actually remember saying the words to her, you don't think it's like a little cancer ball or something, do you? And her response was, oh, Marissa, don't be silly. Of course it's not. I'm sure it's fine. Just go back and see him tomorrow and see what he says. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, as if it's going to be a cancer ball. Like, I'm 25 years old. That doesn't happen. Not to me. Not to people we know, you know, that doesn't happen. So went back to see the doctor and he goes, oh, okay, so it's a lymph node. It's a swollen lymph node. And in my head, I was like, what the heck is that? But I was like, oh, okay. Pretending I knew what he was talking about. He was like, I'm definitely sending you to a specialist. So went to see my specialist. Very first appointment, she basically said it's most likely lymphoma. I'm madly Googling lymphoma, like, what the heck is that? Yeah, so that was a little bit of a shock. And she was like, look, we need to do a full body PET scan and we need to do a biopsy on the node, which means to take the whole thing out and then check out what's inside, and then we can determine whether it is cancer or not. And I'm looking at my mum. Mum was with me. I'm looking at her like, what the heck? Like, how is this happening? But that was that. So went off, did my full body scan, and probably about a week later or something, I had the surgery on my node. Funny story, actually. There was a little bit of a mix-up. They were taking their time. I was calling offices like, when am I going to be booked in for this? I'm meant to be seeing my specialist in just a few days, and I haven't had the surgery yet, and she needs the results for that day. So I started freaking out, calling her office, calling the hospital, trying to get in contact with everyone. I got a phone call in the morning saying, yeah, we can probably do it tomorrow for you. Someone's going to call you back this afternoon and talk to you about, you know, what you need to do before you come in the morning and give you a time. It's like, yep, sweet. No one called me. We got to the night time after work, and I was like, well, no one called me, so what the heck? It must be happening tomorrow. So I was like, great, I'm going to have to call them back in the morning and sort this out, because this is just taking too long and I need to find these results. I could have cancer right now. I'm freaking out. Anyway, I went to bed. I woke up. My boyfriend gets up for work at like 5:30. So I woke up and I noticed I had a little bit of a sore throat. So I thought, oh, great, he's got some butter menthols on his bedside table. I'll just have one of those and I might just curl up and go back to sleep for a couple hours before I have to go to work. So I have a butter menthol. I didn't want to try and go back to sleep because I was like, you're going to choke. So I just stayed on my phone for a little bit. At this point, it was probably 6:30. Got a phone call. It was the hospital. They were like, we tried to call you yesterday and no one answered. And I was like, no, you didn't, because I had my phone on loud right next to me all afternoon and no one tried to call me. And they were like, oh, someone should have tried to call you because you're meant to be coming in this morning by like now. I'm like, what do you mean by now? And they were like, well, where do you live? How soon can you get here? And I was like, well, I just need to go home and like get some clothes and then I can come straight away. And they're like, yep, cool. So I was like, maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour. And they're like, yep, as long as you're here by 8, that's perfect. And I was like, okay. So I quickly grabbed all my stuff, drove home, told mum. She was like, oh my God, I'll quickly call work, tell them I'm not coming in. Anyway, we got there. And they were like, have you been fasting? On the phone, they were like, have you been fasting? I was like, well, yeah, I mean, it's 6:30 in the morning, so no, I haven't eaten anything. Silly me though, I forgot I had a butter menthol, but anyway, we'll get to that. And they were like, okay, sweet, so yeah, just come in. So we went in by 8, get in the nurse's room. They're talking about the procedure, what they're going to do. They're going to take the whole thing out, blah, blah, blah. Then they're like, and you've been fasting? Yes, since last night from about midnight. I'm like, yeah, I haven't eaten anything. And then I was like, oh, actually, I did eat a butter menthol. And the lady that was asking me all the questions just looks at me like, a butter menthol? And I was like, yeah, sorry. I mean, well, I didn't know I was coming in and I had a really sore throat. And it was just one little, like a butter menthol. And she was like, a butter menthol, but what do you mean? And I don't think she mustn't have known what a butter menthol is. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a little sore throat lozenge, like a little soothing thing for your throat. And I was like, yeah, like just one, like it was just this little butter menthol. I'm sorry, I didn't know I was coming in. And she was like, but oh my God, a butter menthol. I have to call the other nurse and see like what we can do. Like, we might not be able to do the surgery. And she started freaking out. And I was like, dude, it's one tiny little butter menthol. So she gets on the phone. She's like, she's eaten a butter menthol. And then this other nurse, I swear to you, this other nurse in about 5 seconds pops in the door and she was like, a butter menthol? What do you mean? Why did you eat a butter menthol? And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was meant to be having surgery today, otherwise I wouldn't have eaten it. It was just one tiny little thing. And then she's on the phone to the surgeon. She's like, she's eaten a butter menthol. And they're like, she's eaten a butter menthol. Oh my God, a butter menthol. What do you mean? Why did she eat a butter menthol? She didn't know she was coming in. She's eaten a butter menthol. And everyone was going crazy. And I was like, oh my God. Mum's looking at me like, what is happening? And I was like, I'm sorry. And then the surgeon comes in. He's like, you ate a butter menthol. And I was like, I didn't know. And he was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It shouldn't affect the anesthetic or whatever. So it should be fine. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. And everyone was freaking out. Anyway, they prepped me, put me on the bed. And then the other 2 nurses who started wheeling me into the surgery room, they're like, so you've been fasting? And I was like, I ate a butter menthol. And they're like, a butter menthol? What did you do that for? And I was like, I didn't know I was coming in. But anyway, it was fine. The moral of the story is I'm never eating a buttermenthol again. I'm scarred. But, scarred, literally. Get it? Funny. But yeah, anyway, so they did the biopsy and went back to my specialist, and she confirmed that unfortunately I had stage 4A Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's right, stage 4. Crazy, huh? Like, not even early stages, like advanced stage, which lymphoma has quite a high curability rate. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think it's in the 90 percentile of curability, but because I was stage 4, that pushed it down quite significantly, which was quite scary. But I mean, I was ready. We talked about, you know, my chemo and what I'd be getting, and yeah, basically it started from there. So September 19th was my doomsday, and pretty much, so that's the story of my diagnosis. I don't want to ramble on for too much longer. I feel like I've probably talked your guys' ears off, but yeah, so moral of the story is don't eat buttermenthols ever. And just remember that unfortunately there are silent cancers, and you need to know your body. And yeah, anything that's weird, like you shouldn't be itchy for no reason. You shouldn't be tired just because you haven't been on a holiday in a couple of years. Like, I mean, literally, like fatigue, like fully tired. You shouldn't be losing weight rapidly for no reason. I personally didn't get that. That wasn't one of my symptoms. But yeah, definitely if you get a lump or anything anywhere, you've got lymph nodes in your armpits as well, and in your groin. I had one in my armpit as well that my specialist could feel that I hadn't noticed, but yeah, the one in the neck was the deciding factor of something was wrong. So know your body, people. Don't freak out, you know, if something weird's happening. It's like, oh my god, I have cancer. Like, just go get checked out. Just make sure you make time for your health. It's the most important thing. Work, family, friends, if you have to cancel something, they'll understand. It's important. You are the number one priority, your health, and you are the number one priority. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it there because I've rambled on enough. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said at the start of the video, please give this a thumbs up and a like if you enjoyed it. I hope you did. I hope it's helped you in some sort of way. Don't forget, buttermenthols are bad. But yeah, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.